Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. That's why I really feel like you can't stop me.
What? Good morning, Pennsylvania and New Jersey and Delaware and Maryland. This is Kathy Barnette. I am sitting in for my girl, Dawn Stensland, on the Dawn Stensland Show. Yes, this energy is all me right now. You can't stop me as we head into 2025. Happy New Year Eve. How y'all doing? Give me a call, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. Jim, I love it, Jim. I love it. Play the music. What? I'm just telling y'all, okay? This is my energy. This is my vibe as we walk into 2025. You can't stop me. We got a mission. We're on a mission. We got plans. We got things that we're doing here. I am streaming live on both YouTube and Twitter. So everybody out there on Twitterdom, how y'all doing? What's up? I'm just saying hey to everybody right now. Okay, we got so much. I have such a wonderful schedule for you guys today. I have Joe from Texas is going to be calling in. You can go to joefromtexas.com, but Joe from Texas is going to be in here, followed by the champ. The champ will be here. That is Senator-elect David McCormick. I'm so excited to talk to him. I have Pastor John Amanchukwu. You guys, if you went to AmFest, he was there speaking up on stage. Jack Posobiec. I love Jack. He's so adorable. I mean, when I see him, I just think he's so adorable. So Jack Posobiec is going to be stopping by, followed by our congressman, the great he's so wonderful. We truly have a gem in him, and Democrats are, he has a big target on him. That's Congressman Scott Perry is going to be in the house. So we have a really jam-packed schedule. Here's the number, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. Go ahead and call in. I'm so excited. So let's just go, though, before everyone comes in. I was like, let's just kind of talk about what's going on in the news a little bit. So we have Democrats up to their old tricks, Democrats being Democrats, i.e., being a threat to democracy. They have now said that, Congress doesn't have to listen to the Electoral College. They don't have to listen to the will of the people. In fact, they can just not accept Donald Trump's electoral votes. Just block him altogether. You don't have to listen to the people. You don't have to listen to the Electoral College. Just block Donald Trump. You don't have to accept him. Obviously, they are citing the 14th Amendment. Let me tell you, the 14th Amendment has really been beat up on, abused, kicked in the throat. Every time Democrats want to cite a reason why they don't have to follow the Constitution, somehow they bring up the 14th Amendment. And this time it's Section 3 that says you can bar anyone who engaged in insurrection after taking an oath to support the Constitution from holding office. So they're saying because of Donald Trump's second impeachment, which found him guilty, because the Colorado court kicked him off the ballot. Remember when they kicked him off the ballot before the Supreme Court said, no, you have to keep him on the ballot? They're citing that, and they're citing that phony witch hunt of a January 6th committee that they call bipartisan. We know it wasn't really bipartisan. Well, they're saying those three instances where Trump was adjudicated before the people, that those three are enough of a reason to to invoke the 14th Amendment, Section 3, that says Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection. And so what do? Well, because he engaged in an insurrection, according to them, we're going to engage in an insurrection, because that's essentially what they're calling for. They're wanting to steal the election. They're wanting to invalidate the will of the people. They are being a threat to democracy, as they usually are. And I mean, it sounds like they're endorsing an insurrection. It sounds like a conspiracy to overthrow 2024 election. Now, if you remember, there were people who were issued warrants that were served on people for saying far less than this about Biden in 2021. Now, and there has been, I believe there's some takers in Congress who's saying, yeah, you know what, I'm not going to acknowledge these votes. But these two people, this is in the Hill, which is what some call, legacy media at this point, or at least valid media source, The Hill. They allowed this story to run. And the two people who wrote the story are former editor-in-chief, one of Columbia Law Review, the other of Yale Law Journal. So these are influential people. These are people we would generally look to be reasonable, to help us understand what the Constitution says. So these two people have written this article. And again, it's just Democrats being Democrats, but we're going to have Congressman Scott Perry on. We'll ask him, right? Like, what are his thoughts on that? Also, on Sunday, December 29th, the Trump team, Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, issued a directive, an official letter, instructing all of the nominees who are going to be who are going to go before Senate confirmation to stop posting on social media. Shut it up and shut it down. So that came from Susie Wiles on Sunday. The memo also reiterated that these nominees and the transition team members do not speak for the United States, nor do they speak for Trump himself. So Trump is like really reining in these wagging tongues, and I can appreciate that. Coming out of 2020, coming out of 2016 through 2020, you saw there was a lot of loose ships, which is loose. Well, how did that analogy go? Loose lips sink ships. Yes, I'm horrible with analogies, but nonetheless, we had a lot of loose lips. A lot of tongues were wagging in Trump's first administration. And so sounds like he's trying to be really serious, because, we have Pete Hegseth is going to run into some headwinds. He was picked to be Defense Secretary. Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFKJ, is running into some headwinds as well. And so the directive is to shut your mouth, be quiet, zip it up. And I can appreciate that. Also, Carrie Lake. I mean, this has just been a really, everybody has something to say this week as we exit 2024 and go ahead into 2025. Carrie Lake has said she will not run for governor again in Arizona. As you know, that is coming up in 2026. She said, she put out on a social media post, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to put my family through, quote, the torture of another campaign. She said instead she's going to focus on helping Donald Trump instead of pursuing a gubernatorial bid. As you know, Donald Trump announced that Carrie Lake would serve as the next director of Voice of America. And this is interesting because she said in the social media post that she put out, she said, there is a corrupt machine here in Arizona that is hell-bent on making sure I will never hold office. And so she finishes that with saying, I will avoid putting my family through the torture of another campaign. Because let me tell you, when you run for office, it's not just you who is running. In fact, it is your whole family who is running. Everyone is running in that campaign, and it is torture. to just put yourself out there continuously, repetitively. And a lot of the headwind she faced came from the Republican Party. I can so relate to Carrie Lake. I can relate to her that the majority of the headwind she faced did not come from Democrats. It came from her own party. Who is this? I have someone on the line. Big Al. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you today?
I am doing well. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, no problem at all. Well, first of all, I'd like to say they better stop playing politics, because if you look at Trump's previous 4 years and this past 4 years, you got to go with what Trump says. Don't be Democrat, don't be Republican, don't be independent. Let's do what's best for the American people.
Yes. I mean, go figure,
okay,
right?
Secondly, I want to say is, from what I understand, that the people that are fighting the sanctuary cities, mayors and governors that's going to be fighting Trump, they can be charged with harboring criminals, right? Can't they be prosecuted?
Let me tell you, Tom Homan does not seem like he is playing even a little bit. And that is what we need. A lot of these people have been able to get away with the things that they've been getting away with because, quite frankly, Republicans haven't really projected strength. We have the backbone of ear cartilage for the most part. And so here comes Tom Homan walking in saying, I'm not playing. I'm not playing at all. And so I think that's going to go a long way.
Yeah, but they could be charged, I think, because I heard something about harboring criminals, and that's against the law. So that's what the governors are doing. That's what the mayors are doing of these Democratic cities. They're preventing criminals from being caught.
I am all for it. I am all for it. I am all for it. And I think a lot of people are as well.
Yeah, God bless you and have a safe New Year.
Thank you so much, Big Al, for calling in. Before I go to break, I know I'm getting ready to hit a break right now. I want to also mention Elon Musk has changed his Twitter name to Kikius Maximus. So Kikius Maximus is a very popular cryptocurrency meme coin. It's Pepe the Frog meme with Maximus. So it's Maximus in the image of Pepe the Frog. Now, Maximus, when I saw that, everybody's just joking like, oh, that's just so funny. But when I homeschooled my kids, we took Latin for, I don't know, maybe about 5 years of that. And so the word Maximus in English is the greatest. And it's a warrior title that is given as the title of honor. And it became popular as a saint's name. So you started seeing a lot of saints being called Maximus, Saint Maximus, right? So if you look behind the joke and the humor, which most of us are going to just, it's going to go right over our head. But just pause. Elon is now the warrior saint. The greatest, right? The whole natural order culminates in him. Beginning and end culminates in him. He is declaring himself Saint Maximus. Very interesting. And again, you're talking about the world's most powerful man. SpaceX maintains significant government contracts, providing critical services to both NASA and the Pentagon. Tesla has over 50% market share here in America, dominating the U.S. Electric vehicles. You see him on stage with Donald Trump, Xi Jinping over in Germany, the most powerful countries in the world. And he has now declared himself warrior saint. Yeah, maybe there's nothing to see here. Go back to sleep. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to be talking about it. I have Joe from Texas coming up next, followed by Senator-elect David McCormick, then Pastor John Amanchukwu, Jack Posobiec. I'm so excited to talk to Jack. Ending the show, my time here with you guys with Congressman Scott Perry. I see y'all on the other side of this break. Peace.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Phil Almquist giving the Kale and Company flag to Jeremy. He's the recipient for the week.
You promise you'll fly it on your truck and you'll return it next week.
100%.
Okay. All right.
You have other people in the hopper stocker, so to speak, or how can people request the flag?
Probably won't be till January until you can do it, but we have other people. If you want to fly the flag high on your truck or house or whatever, you have to display it. It can't sit in the back of your truck like it did for Kale. Send me an email, greg.stocker@odyssey.com.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
2025 is here, and so is the best deal of the year. Colonial Hyundai is ringing in the new year with 2025 under invoice on any new Hyundai in stock. That's right. Celebrate 2025 by saving $2,025 below invoice. 6 days only. Choose from over 200 vehicles, including new Tucsons, Elantras, Palisades, and Santa Fe's. Plus, Hyundai is offering 0% financing for up to 60 months. Want top dollar for your trade? Colonial Hyundai has been recognized for giving the highest trade values in the region. Colonial will give you $6,500 for your trade. Guaranteed. No matter the condition. It's a race against time. This offer ends on New Year's Day, 2025 under invoice on any new Hyundai. Only at Colonial Hyundai. Shop online 24/7 at colonialhyundai.com. Colonial Hyundai, the fast, easy, better way to buy a Hyundai. All offers include all rebates and incentives. Offers cannot be combined. Vehicle must be purchased at dealer listed price. Finance through HMF USA and take delivery by 1/2/2025. 0% financing on 2024 Tucson only. Dependent on approval from HMF USA.
D&K Appliances is a family-owned and operated business for 3 generations located in Newtown Square and Flowertown. D&K Appliances offers one-stop shopping, providing delivery, installation, and service of top brands like GE, Thermador, Wolf, Bosch, Speed Queen, KitchenAid, and Whirlpool for your kitchen or laundry. D&K Appliance sales associates are industry experts, supporting customers every step of the way. Visit D&K Appliances, the dependable difference. Newtown Square and Flowertown showrooms, or visit dkappliances.com.
Virtua Health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
Open heart surgery, tear in my aorta.
The most complex cases come to us at Virtua Health.
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here without you.
Being a 45-year-old, not being able to walk up one flight of stairs, I had no idea I was in heart failure.
Virtua is a premier heart failure center in South Jersey.
They changed my life. It's truly a blessing.
Want to follow our stories? Go to virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
That's why I don't go online without connecting to NordVPN. I don't want anyone stealing my personal information and snooping on my browsing activity. Also, TechRadar named NordVPN as the most trusted VPN by casual users and experts. Features like Threat Protection Pro safeguard your devices from phishing websites. Scan downloads for malicious files and disable intrusive ads and trackers so you can surf more safely online. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. By the way, you can protect up to 10 devices with one account. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks, this is not a drill, it's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, come on with it. That's all you got? If you're looking at me on YouTube right now, I am jamming it. Hey, Shelly, I see you out there, girl. How you doing? What? Okay, I got somebody online. Is this Joe from Texas who's online? Jimmy, I don't see a name. Awesome. Hello, Mr. Joe. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Kathy, and yourself.
I am doing well. Happy New Year's Eve.
Yep. Happy New Year. 25 is going to be a great year.
I know. That's why I'm so excited, bringing the energy in the studio because we're going into 2025 like you can't stop me. We're going to get our country in line, and I'm so excited.
I am too. it is truly great to be on this side of the election. Got it behind us.
Well, you know what? You were a big part of that election. I don't know if people know who you are, but guys, go to joefromtexas.com. I mean, just a wonderful man, a businessman turned political activist. You and several others sponsored Tucker Carlson live tour that traveled the nation right before the election. And I believe it was pivotal in winning. When you guys came here to Pennsylvania, I walked into that room. I walked in a little, dejected, a little discouraged. It is a battle out here on the ground. And I walked into that space and I was pumped with energy. I felt hope from that point through the election. And you were a big part of that. Thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome. We felt that energy in 16 cities. It just seemed like it grew as we got further into the month of September.
It was very energetic. It was exactly what I think we needed to get out of the slump and to know that, no, there is hope. There is people who are fighting. And you were a big part of that. Now, out of all of those things that I said about you and your title, one of the things that I find very encouraging every time I hear you speak is that you are a wonderful storyteller. And I believe there is power in being able to tell a story. And your number one, Scott, sent me your story that you sent out right before Christmas, I believe it was. It was a very inspiring story about our young people, which, of course, I'm just so attracted to that kind of thinking. You wanted to share that?
Yeah, sure. It was a late afternoon that we finished a charitable event in Houston that me and Linda went to, an awards for the employees there, and that was very heartwarming to see employees cheer each other on at MD Anderson. Those people see all of us at our worst, but they are wonderful people. 24,000 people work there, and we go to that award every year, and it really lifts your heart and your spirit to see people that really love to help one another and support one another. So on the way home, it was chilly, it was raining, mist and rain, and we stopped at one of our favorite restaurants to have a late supper. And when we walked in, it was I noticed the parking lot was about half full. The restaurant was a little more than half full, and I asked the young lady if we could have a booth to sit in. I thought that would be a little warmer in a booth, and they had one left. So we sat down, we ordered our tea, and we ordered appetizer, and the young lady waiting on us, very friendly. Just we felt good because we're on the traffic side of Houston was behind us, so we knew we were headed home. And as we started in on our appetizer, I noticed that the booth behind me emptied and a booth behind Linda emptied. People started leaving the restaurant and heading home. It was on a Wednesday night in the middle of the week. And a little bit later, I noticed there was a movement behind me, and that was somebody cleaning that table and cleaning that booth and rubbing it real hard. And Linda started kind of rolling her eyes at me to get my attention, and so she did. And the young man finished the booth behind me and walked with his tray over to the booth behind Linda. He was a well-groomed young man, probably in his early 20s at best, and he proceeded to clean that booth. And he was really working hard and rubbing the table, rubbing the booth hard. And I reached in my pocket and took out a folded $100 bill that I keep for occasions kind of like that to help people when we know somebody's a good, hard-working person or a kind person. And Linda nodded at me that was her approval. So that's why she was trying to get my attention. The young man finished with the booth and picked up his bus tub, and he walked by, and I asked him to stop. And I told him I had this for him, would he accept that blessing? And he was so thrilled and so excited and just could not get over the fact that he was getting a $100 tip for being a busboy. And he thanked me and he thanked Linda, and I told him how much I appreciate him taking the blessing. He said, "Sir, do you happen to have two $50 bills?" And I said, "No." And it kind of caught me by surprise. I said, "No, son, I don't." And he said, "Well, that's okay. I'll get that from the lady at the register. There's another young man bussing tables on the other side of the restaurant, and I'd like to split this blessing with him." And it just really, Kathy, I just kind of sat there and thought for just a second, and then I said, well, no, I can do one better than that. I don't have the change, but I reached in my pocket and got another folded $100 bill, and I handed it to him. I said, just please share this with your coworker. And he thanked us again and had such a smile, and he left. Within, I'd say, a minute, I don't think me and Linda was even talking to one another. We're just sitting there kind of absorbing the generosity that this young man had for a coworker. And another young man shows up. He sticks his hand out to fist bump me, and he said, sir, thank you so much. And ma'am, thank you. I hope y'all have a great Christmas. And thank y'all for the blessing. And it was a moving moment.
Yeah.
And I thanked him, and he left. And then we're both sitting there again, kind of just trying to absorb it, and I thought, well, you know what, this just really shows me that I do judge people for what they are, not who they are, just what they are. You can tell in these two young men's heart that they were good, hardworking young people. The first young man was a white young man. The second young man was a black young man. And it showed me there that they kind of it kind of reminded me of Martin Luther King when he said that he'd like to see it someday where people were judged on their character and what's in their heart instead of the color of their skin. And it kind of renewed that spirit to me that night right there. But I've never lost my faith in young people. I think they're a lot smarter and a lot loving and so forth than what the politicians and a lot of the news media and everything paint them to be. Let these people learn each other and decide for their own self whether people are good or not, just on their heart and their character. So that was a great Christmas story for me and Linda, and I was truly blessed, and she was truly blessed to experience that. So I wanted to share that with everybody.
And it was a blessing for me. Now, I read the story when Scott sent it to me. I read it again last night, and now I'm listening to you tell it to me again, and it just makes my heart feel good. And that's why I wanted you to share it as we exit 2024 and go into a new year. I think we're going to need all the encouragement we can get. And this certainly is one, especially at a time when our nation is really, over the last week, been talking about the quality of our young people and the quality of our culture. And yes, we do have a lot of work to do on our education system with our young people, on the caliber of our culture, the morality within our culture. But at the same time, stories like this, it reminds you that there is no other country like America. I love our country. We're not perfect, but you would be hard pressed to find somebody who's leading us. You would be hard pressed to find someone in the number 2 spot that is closing in on us. We're not perfect, but this country is just amazing. And when I read this story, it just really encouraged my heart that it's not as negative as some would think. There's a lot of potential within our young people. So thank you so much for sharing that story.
You're more than welcome. It was a blessing for me and Linda to experience that. What a Christmas gift.
I know, right? But, and so I was so glad to read that again last night. But now I'm reading it because when I read it the first time, we were not in the throes of, H-1B visas when I first read it. But last night I read it again. And now I'm thinking in terms of, what we've been talking about this last week. And you wrote an article, and it was almost like you picked up a rock and threw it in a pack of dogs and said, let me see who's going to holler. And I found that to be very courageous from your perspective, because we're now talking about, most people are like, hey, let's just deport all illegals. But now we're talking about, well, hey, we need to bring in some legal migration into our country. And then you put out an article on Monday in the midst of all of this saying, wait a minute, the shortages in our labor market is real. And the call to abolish all immigration, however, is not it's untenable. It's not reasonable. And I'm gonna leave it here for you to pick up on, but you cite as your premise December 2024 study from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce that outlined that the United States has a shortage of workers. Most people have concluded that. But you went on to say if every unemployed worker took an open job in their industry, there would still be millions of open jobs. Again, leading to even if every American who didn't have a job filled a job, and there were no Americans who were unemployed, there would still be millions of open jobs, kind of going to your point that we need to be very realistic as we head into this next administration around the topic of immigration, legal and illegal.
Yes, ma'am. And when you look at the plans that the new administration has, and they want to rebuild our economy and get our manufacturing back up to what it was many years ago, many decades ago, and we need to do that. We need to be less dependent on these foreign countries, obviously, from oil to just anything that we make. We can do it in this country. We've taught the world how to do most of what's being done today. But when you drive through town and you see help wanted signs, truck drivers, operators, food service people. I mean, in all sectors, this country is hunting people to work. And when I visited with some of the I guess the people that are going to be on the new administration's team, about this particular topic, and we talked about it several times as I had the opportunity to visit with them. It's a juggling act. Right now, if we was to create 10 or 15 million more jobs through the manufacturing sector, who would fill those jobs when you can't fill the jobs that are out there right now? And what you would create a situation where people would leave their current employer and go to another one, would have a bid war for people to get, and that would run the cost of goods up that way. So that would be a negative thing to happen. Back at the turn of the century in the late 1800s, 1894 to 1954, 20 million people came through Ellis Island. Immigrants, and it did it the right way. It was a whole lot easier to get in that way then, and they went to work in the factories, and they helped build this country, and they opened up butcher shops and shoe shops and all kinds of things. And now about 40% of America have ties to Ellis Island. So if you do it right, there's nothing wrong with bringing in immigration, and I think that's what we should do. Obviously, first thing first, we need to close the border. We need to get rid of the bad people that have come through our border, our open border over the last 4 years, or actually the last decade. Let's back it up 10 years. That's where we've had the biggest problem down on the border. We need to clean that up, and then we need to fill these jobs with good, God-fearing people who want to make America their home and want to come here for the right reason. When people talk with Joe, are you okay with Hispanic labor here working here and sending some of their money home? Kathy, I don't care what you do with your paycheck. That's your paycheck. If you're a good, honest person, you're a God-fearing lady, and you get up every day and you put one foot forward and you want to help this country, you want to take care of your family, and what you do with your paycheck is up to you. If you want to send it to another country, if you want to give it to a charity, if you want to wait and give it to the busboy, do what you want to with your money. But the main thing is you earned it. And we've got too many people in this country not earning the check they're getting, okay? And that's what we need to do. We need to fill these jobs with good, hardworking people, humans that want to make America a better place. And that we're a melting pot anyway. To say, well, all I want is people that were born in America, Native Americans. Well, hey, that ain't going to happen. Let's just go ahead and have a melting pot and let's make the best of it. But let's stop the cartel from doing what they're doing. Let's close that border. Let's get a handle on it, and let's put people back to work in this country. And we can do that. There's no two ways about it. They've got a big job ahead of them, the administration. They got to cut that waste and the fraud and the abuse. They got to streamline government. And another man was telling me, I was on a show here just this week. He said, well, Joe, when they cut back on those jobs in the government, those people come out and take these other jobs. I said, those people are not going to roof your house, pour the concrete, put down the blacktop, tie the rebar, hang the skyscrapers. That's not their job set. We have got to get people back into the hard workforce, the manufacturing side, the building this country from the ground up. Every job their description isn't sitting at a computer screen or at a desk. We got to have a lot of people out here carrying the weight.
Willing to do the heavy work. Yeah, and that's the reason why I wanted to bring you on, because, this conversation around immigration, illegal and legal, it's being melted down into bifurcated choices, good, bad, yes, no. But it's much more complex than that. And I wanted to bring you into this discussion because I thought that this is, I read your article last night. It is on Newsmax. You can go and take a look at it. Joe Penland, updating immigration registry would help address labor shortages. I found that to be very balanced and a very reasoned out position that people should be really kind of wrapping their mind around. I have one more minute. I want you to, I want to go back to your story for a moment about these young men. The thing that kept popping up is how you described them, well-groomed, working hard, being very thorough, selflessness, politeness. And, those kind of characteristics. And when we think about how do we create an American culture that breeds excellence again, would you say it starts there, teaching our children those soft skills of just being polite?
It does, Kathy. And, the thing about these two young men, they were judging each other themselves. Nobody was telling the other guys good, bad, or watch out for him or this or that. Let people look and make their choice themselves. And that's what's wrong. There's too much influence in the colleges. There's too much influences in the school and in politics and press. Let us make our own decision. We're not that dumb. We all don't have a Harvard degree, but we're not that dumb. Let us look at it and single it out for ourselves.
I agree so much. Joe from Texas, Happy New Year, sir. Take care, you and your family. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for expanding our mission. Thank you so much. God bless.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, listen, we're getting ready to go to a break. Here's the number, 855-839-1210. What? They don't love you like I love you. I love that song. I'll see you guys on the other side of this break.
This is Phil Cannella with a holiday message for you, the American retiree. As long as you don't accept failure, you'll always have hope. And as long as you volunteer for others and give, you'll always have purpose in your life. And here's my message to the financial industry and its advisors. You can make a living from what you take, but you can make so many more lives better from what you give. Give the knowledge of truth so that it brings clarity to a financial industry that so many American retirees depend on. These are the gifts that have given me purpose and have fulfilled my life. In the coming years, we will give you the truth that will bring clarity to more retirees who need safety from a financial industry that's unwilling and unable to give back. On behalf of Joanne Small and the Crash Proof Retirement Team, we wish you a very happy holiday and a bright and better new year.
Dreaming of a new bathroom?
Emmons Remodeling can turn your dreams into reality.
From modern shower or bath surround upgrades to complete remodels, our team of designers and remodeling construction experts deliver stunning results. We use high-quality materials to ensure that your bathroom will look great and last for years to come.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit online at callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Big news, Cherry Hill. The Hester Chevrolet family is expanding with our new location, Hester Chevy of Cherry Hill, formerly Mall Chevrolet. For over 40 years, the Hester Automotive family has been part of the Cherry Hill community. With over 600 vehicles available, Hester Chevy of Cherry Hill now offers one of the largest inventories of Chevy vehicles in the tri-state area. See why 2 Hester Chevy locations are even better than one. Come visit Hester Chevy at the mall or always online at HesterChevyCH.com.
Your way or no way at Hester Chevrolet.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
People along 2 streets in the Northeast want more from police and the city after a string of car vandalism and, in one case, robbery. State parks are offering first-day hikes to walk in the new year, but if you want the free tour, you have to register online. Funeral plans take shape for former President Carter.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Def Leppard in concert. The return to Atlantic City. Saturday, June 28th, Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa. Get set to get rocked. Def Leppard, one night only. Tickets on sale now at theborgata.com. Don't miss Def Leppard.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, Cherry Hill. We know your favorite station is WPHT.
Calling
Tell your
in at
smart speaker, play
10:45.
1210 WPHT.
Woo! That was my intro for Dave McCormick. He will be showing up in a few moments. I think they're getting him set up right now to call in. But he is the champ. He won. So that is my intro. You guys tell Dave, okay? I had a really good intro for him coming into this break. Oh, Dave, there you are. Here's your song, Dave. Keep it playing. Hello, Senator-elect Dave McCormick. How are you, sir? Dave, are you there? Oops. This is radio, guys. This is radio. But I'm sure he's listening to the music, and any minute he'll pop right in. My team is over there working. I see them moving very quickly. Yes, he deserves a what do they call it when they have their arm up in the air and their lap around the ring?
Sorry, I don't know where he is. He was on just a second ago.
Oh, okay. There's somebody just popped in. His team is listening to the song. So I am so excited to have Dave. You guys know he was at the he's calling my phone instead. No, Dave, I need you to call the radio station. We're live. You guys are seeing how it all works and how it all plays out right now. Yeah, Dave, I need you to actually call the radio station. So hang up, call the radio station. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you guys, this is radio. Isn't it beautiful? And you just kind of go with the flow of it all. But yeah, we'll get that fixed up. But hey, guys, listen, if you want to call your senator-elect, Dave McCormick, here's the number, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. And I am Kathy Barnette, sitting in for the great, she's so precious. I adore Dawn Stensland on the Dawn Stensland Show. But you guys remember, Dave he was smiling from ear to ear. He was actually at Mar-a-Lago when Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, came to Mar-a-Lago. Dave was there. Hey, Dave, you're here?
I am. Happy New Year, Kathy. How are you?
Happy New Year. Did you hear the song that I had for you?
I didn't. What was it?
Oh, my God. Play it, Jim. Just for you, Dave. Here's your Rocky song. You're the champ.
I love it.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
I love it.
Run around
Thank
the
you.
ring. Yes, Dave. Run around the ring. You deserve it. You won it. I'm so very happy for you and your lovely family. But this is for you. Take your bow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, every year at the Army-Navy game, I take my 6 girls when they were growing up, and I'd make them do the Rocky Run and then end up running up the steps. So, that means a lot to me. That song means a lot to me. How are you?
I am doing well. Okay, Jim, fade it out, baby. I am doing well. So excited to have you on as well. Well deserved. I don't know if you've been on the station since your win, but I know you and I texted, but this is our first time talking. And congratulations.
Thank you. You know, I feel honestly so privileged to have the opportunity to do this. You and I talked about, how much we needed new leadership in the Senate and in the country. And I just feel grateful. I had such great support from across our Commonwealth, and it was obviously a very close race, but very proud and grateful for your help. So thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's my first time back since winning.
Oh, look at that. Well, thank you so much for gracing this particular show and me as well. So when do you actually swear in?
January 3rd is our swearing in. And, after that, it's going to be just a mad rush because we obviously need to get moving on getting President Trump's nominations in office. And we also are going to have a busy agenda, really trying to turn the country around after the really weak leadership of President Biden. And so there's a big opportunity. I know President Trump's very focused on delivering on the many promises he made, and I am too. So that's the agenda.
Yes, and so you're going to swear in. So that's this Friday. Congratulations. And then you will be a part of reviewing Donald Trump's nominees and voting on that.
I've already started to do that. And listen, here's the starting point for me. President Trump won a big mandate, and he promised disruption. He ran as a disruptor. And so he's going to pick nominees that are disruptors. And I think he's done that in many cases. And, my job, as I see it, is to try to help make sure President Trump has the team he needs to be successful. The people of Pennsylvania elected me to do my job. So I've got a job to interview those candidates, to advise and consent. And I'm taking that very seriously. But my goal is to try to make sure President Trump has what he needs to be successful. And so I've met with a number of candidates already, but next week, I think it'll be mostly meeting with some of these nominees.
I love that so much. And a little birdie told me from your camp that you got your assignments, and Dave, they are very impressive. You are going to be on the Energy Committee, Foreign Relations, and Banking. I mean, all of the hot topics right now. Everything we're talking about, whether it's crypto, whether it's the debanking that we see going around, especially energy and foreign relations. There's a lot going on. How are you?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
And I ask, you get to you don't necessarily get what you want, but you get to share your preferences. And I wanted to be on committees where I could work on the agenda that we talked about on the campaign. And so energy was number one, unlocking Pennsylvania's energy. And so I'm going to have an opportunity to do that. Senator Fetterman's on the Public Works and Environment Committee. So that those two committees deal with all the permitting for natural gas and so forth. So that's going to be a big focus. The Banking Committee has crypto, which, as you know, is a big and growing area in Pennsylvania, but it also has all the sanctions and all the policies you can put against China. And you and I talked about that a lot during the campaign. We need to really toughen up on China, and the Banking Committee allows me to do that. And then, of course, foreign relations. One of the many things we'll talk about is support for Israel and making sure that we stand with our ally in the region against Iran. And so, these committees are going to be very, very connected to the things that I talked about on the campaign. And that was my goal. I didn't want to be on a bunch of committees that were focused on things that weren't the priorities for Pennsylvanians.
I mean, well, these are very. Like these three committees cover so many hot topic issues that we're contending with right now. I mean, we have a world that is increasingly less content with following America, whether we're talking about BRICS with Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa alliance trying to create a nemesis, a very strong kind of nemesis to America, whether we're talking about right now, Donald Trump has, and I don't know if it's joking or if it's real. I'm gonna pitch this over to you, but it's this expansionist kind of mindset as he's talking about making, whether it's a joke or not, you were there at the table when Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, was there, and he made the joke calling Canada the 51st state. Now, at Christmas, called him Governor Trudeau. He is under a tremendous amount of pressure in his own country with a 69% disapproval rating right now. Right. But then you also have Panama Canal and Greenland, wanting to purchase Greenland from Denmark. Do you think these are all jokes? Is he serious? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that the starting point is we had a huge vacuum of leadership under President Biden. Yeah. Whether it was the debacle of the withdrawal from Afghanistan or the weak way that he dealt with Ukraine, or whether it's been the weak leadership in the Middle East or with the Chinese surveillance balloon. So you got this huge vacuum, and all of a sudden Donald Trump showing up, and he's filling that void. He's filling that vacuum. There's strong leadership, and the leaders around the world are recognizing that, and that's why I think there's this enormous outreach to President Trump. They know it's going to be a different kind of leadership, a strong hand. And I think, when he talks about America first, the way I believe he means that, and the way he's talked about it, is he wants to make sure that America is getting its fair shake around the world, that America is not being taken advantage of, and that whether it's, funding of NATO and making sure that the European countries pay their fair share, whether it's trade where we've been getting, the bad deals with Canada or Mexico. President Trump is saying, hey, listen, there's a new day, and America's got to be treated with the respect that it deserves and a fair deal for Americans and for Pennsylvanians. And that was what happened at the Trudeau dinner. It was so interesting. We Dean and I were going to go down there and have dinner with the president, following up on his win and my win in Pennsylvania. And then we got a call that said that the prime minister would be there. And, what he talked about the whole time was the fact that the border was wide open, and that you had fentanyl coming across the border from Canada now, and talked about these unfair deals. And, I never want to predict whether President Trump's kidding or not about, 51st state or Greenland or those things. I'm not sure what he's exactly trying to do there, but what I do think is clear, he's trying to assert American leadership to make sure that America gets a fair deal. And I think that's what happened at that dinner that night with Trudeau. And, every leader in the world is coming to Mar-a-Lago or calling the president to make sure, America's gets the respect it deserves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's a fair assessment, is that we need the world to know that there is new leadership going into Washington, D.C., from Congress to from the Senate to Congress all the way to the White House, things are about to change. And so I would agree with that assessment. Not only are world leaders going to Mar-a-Lago, but we have a lot of tech bros going to Mar-a-Lago. Do you have any thoughts on this big brouhaha that some is calling a rift within MAGA? Do you see it as a rift or not?
Here's what I would say on this. And you and I together when we both campaigned, and then when we talked last year as I was campaigning, one of the things that we have to do is make sure we're creating great jobs and great opportunity for American workers. And during the campaign, I talked about making sure that we had skilled training for welders and electricians. And
you did.
We had trade policies that made sure that we would have advanced manufacturing here in Pennsylvania, or energy and so forth. So our number one job needs to be making sure that American workers have great opportunity, and that's the long pole in the tent. And so I think that that's what President Trump talked about when he campaigned in Pennsylvania. I think I probably was with him 15 times, on the stage talking about this. This was the center of his campaign: working families, creating great jobs, and that's got to be the centerpiece of his administration. And now, in terms of legal immigration, what I've always said on this, and as you know, Kathy, Dina, my wife, is a legal immigrant.
Yes.
We are that beacon on the hill, which attracts talent from around the world, and we need to have a legal immigration system that allows for that. But the first priority has got to be closing that border. And so, if you ask me what I'm thinking about the next 90 days or 180 days, consistent with what President Trump, it's closing the border, stopping the flow of illegal immigrants, creating great jobs for American workers, creating great opportunity for American workers. We can talk about legal immigration reform down the road, but that, in my mind, would not be the priority right now.
Yeah, I know. And yet, for some, it seems to be the hill they're willing to die on. So I think that this is going to be something. I was telling someone yesterday, I never thought that leaving out of 2024, going into 2025, the number one topic on my mind would be H-1B visas. I didn't think that would be, but it does. But it does put a spotlight on the quality of our own culture here in America, and what we are and what we're doing to breed excellence in our country. Because as I tell my children, you're not just competing with fellow Americans, but you're literally competing with the world. And if ever there was a time that this was brought out, it was with this, H-1B discussion.
Well, you're right about that, Kathy. And the thing that I know we both agree on is that part of the Trump agenda and part of, the way to get America back where it needs to be is fixing our education system. Yeah. And, I don't think we look at our education system and not say we're failing. We're 27th in the world in terms of industrialized countries, in terms of the quality of our education. And so we've got incredible talent here with the American workforce, but we need to make sure we're educating people well. And that's why one of the things I talked about, and I think President Trump's going to act on this, is making sure we do everything we can to have school choice, because that creates opportunity for everybody across our country and make sure that our schools are truly competitive. So right now, to succeed in making great opportunity for American workers, we need to have great schools and great training, and there's a lot of work to do on both of those, and that's part of the next 100 days, the next 4 years, is making sure we do that.
Well, I love it. Thank you so much. Hit that outro music of Rocky. Take your lap around the ring, Dave. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Kathy.
Congratulations.
Best for 2025. I'm so glad to be on with you today. Have a great new year.
Yes, you and your family. Tell your wife I said hello. Blessings.
I will. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, see y'all on the other side of the break. I have Pastor John Amanchukwu coming up, and that call-in number is 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. We're rocking and rolling today. I see y'all on the other side.
Dawn Stensland here. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. Sleek new designs and innovative features with thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles available across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Unlock your savings potential in 2025 with a First Harvest Credit Union Growth Savings Account and earn as high as 3.25% annual percentage yield. Or check out competitive certificate and IRA specials. Earn more with flexible access to your funds. Visit firstharvestcu.com/growth savings or your nearest branch to open your account or to get details. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for 85 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Trust Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Have you ever tried something for the first time and then wondered how you ever got along without it? That's how thousands of new Navage users describe their first experience. Once they feel sinus relief and can breathe clearly again, many wonder why it took them so long to experience the Navage difference. Navage uses refreshing saline and gentle suction to quickly suck out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Stop suffering from congestion and start feeling better again with Navage. Brand new look, same great product.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
That's all you got? What? Come on with it. That's how we walking into 2025. What? Happy New Year's Eve. You can't stop me. I want you guys to have that same. It's not an option. You can't shut us down. We're moving and we're kicking behind and taking name. And someone else who is always walking into rooms taking names, kicking behinds, flipping over tables, will be Pastor John Amanchukwu. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, Kathy. How about you?
I am doing well. Can't you hear it? The energy? What?
Yes, you are a live wire this morning. I don't blame you. The Lord has brought us to the end of another year.
Praise the Lord.
We're going to cross over.
What? We're going to cross over into another year. Oh my God, Pastor. I mean, I'm not blaspheming when I say it. Oh my God. I think about it all the time. This whole week, I've been thinking and just praising the Lord that I am walking into 2025 with the same people I walked into 2024 with. And I don't see that as a small victory. I am so grateful to God. My family is here. I'm getting emotional. My family is here. We are well. We are whole. We are still intact. The world is going crazy at times, it feels like it's going to hell in a handbasket, and yet my home is well. There is peace in my home, and I'm grateful for that as we walk into 2025.
Well, I echo the sentiments of that as well. Unless the Lord keeps the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. And so it's of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed.
Thank you, Lord.
We're thankful for all of the things that he has done for us. Every day matters. Good days matter and bad days matter.
Yeah.
Life is a continuum. It's a process. There's a pendulum in life. Life brings ebbs and flows, ups and downs, but we have more ups than we do have downs. And so you learn to look on the bright side and to see the glass half full rather than half empty. And it just really changes your perspective. And though there are some people who are transitioning into the next year where you might be in a down season, and there's maybe some who may be in an up season. But seasons change. Just remain constant in your belief.
Amen. I knew I was brilliant. I'm patting myself on the back for bringing you in at the top of this hour. Because I think it's so important. Hope, right? There's a lot of reasons to fall into despair. There's a lot of things we can be despairing of right about now. And yet I earnestly believe it's a choice. And I choose to walk into 2025 believing you can't stop me. Whatever God has for me, I'm coming in, I'm kicking out doors, and I'm taking it.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a fighter spirit in that it's one that's rather contagious and infectious,
Good.
And so where you are today, you're really inspiring and encouraging many other people to feel the same way.
Praise the Lord.
And then you might hit a slump in 2025 where you have to pull on my exuberance as well. And
exactly.
So
if someone needs a rope of exuberance, here, I'm tossing it to you. Grab on and let's walk on in. Now, who is Pastor John Amanchukwu, labeled as the book banning pastor by liberal media? I came across you walking into a school board meeting and just setting it ablaze. And I was like, yes, I love this. And now you travel all around the nation at school boards and just laying it out and speaking facts, and it's just common sense, which of course isn't so common any longer. But that's what you're doing. You're also an executive producer of 22 Words Film. You are a contributor at Turning Point USA Faith. And now we have you here. And I think it's very apropos what we're talking about even now, because this past week we've been talking, there's been a big, beautiful spotlight being shined down on the American culture. And there are some on one side of the aisle who says American culture does not breed excellence. And as a result, we need to go outside of our country to bring in those from other countries that do breed excellence. And then on the other side of that argument, you have people like myself and many others who are saying, wait a minute, yes, a lot of the degradation we see in our culture, I believe, has been intentional. But we can change things. America, there's no other culture. We're more than just widgets, nuts, and bolts. If the bottom line was the only thing that made America America, that's a whole completely different conversation. But I believe America is personal, and it is not just the bottom line of things. What do you say on that?
Hey, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Proverbs 14:34 says, "Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach towards any people." In the New Living Translation, I just gave you the King James Version there, but in the New Living Translation, it says that righteousness makes a nation great, or better yet, godliness makes a nation great. And so we have this constant refrain of making America this and making America that and making America this. But at the end of the day, we cannot forget the centrality and the blessedness of making America godly. We can reduce inflation, and God knows we want to. We can put more money back into taxpayers' pockets. Yes, we want to do that. We can close our borders and keep illegal aliens from coming into our country and doing harm to our families. Yes, we want to do that. We can provide school choice so that children who are economically disadvantaged are not bound or shackled to a school system. That matters. We can do all of these things, but we also need to keep God at the center of this nation. That's truly where our protection comes from. And those who submit to that, I believe in 2025 are going to reap the favor of Almighty God. And those who don't will see the resistance of God. And so I am all for what is getting ready to happen in this new year. New year, new president, inauguration, big plans on the table. All of these things are well and good. We want to make America first, which should also mean putting the onus upon leaders and policymakers to keep America at the forefront of their thought process and not passing over Americans. But these things should be our focus. These things matter, and I believe that if we, at the end of the day, understand that the main thing is keeping God at the forefront of our society and our culture, that we will win regardless of the opposition.
I love it. I think I'm over here kind of writing down another acrostic. We have MAGA, Make America Great Again. We have MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. How about MARA, Make America Righteous Again?
Come on.
I know, right? Like MARA.
That's Mar-a-Lago.
I know, right? Yes, how about that? Oh my gosh. I think we need to. I mean, I know we need to, right? And one of the things I've learned running, for U.S. Congress in 2020, running for U.S. Senate in 2022, coming alongside Vivek Ramaswamy for presidential in 2020, 2023, 2024. Yes. When I step back and look at all of that, I mean, I've been at the forefront and behind the curtains at very high levels, pushing, the policies and the agendas. And now I can take a step back after doing all of that for these past 4+ years, is realize that unless God is brought back into the conversation of our nation again, among our leaders in our home, at our schools, nothing will last. These 4 years will come and go, and we'll be right back in the hell, literal hell, from which we are trying to claw our way out of, right? And John Adams said as much, our founding father and second president, he said, our Constitution, our nation, America only exists because of the Constitution. Our Constitution only exists for a moral. Now you're getting into whether it's right or wrong, righteousness or not, right? He said it only exists for a moral and religious people, because where else will you get your sense of morality except from religion? And it doesn't work under the humanism we've been living under for the past 4+ years. Humanism, me at the center of all things, how I feel, what I think, what I believe, has been at the forefront for the past 4 years. And so we can all look around and say, are we better because we threw off the chain of Jesus and God and religion and put on our humanism? No, we're not. Look at the world. We're on fire right now.
Yes, we are on fire. And it's really because we think that we can outsmart God. You can't be manufactured by a manufacturer and claim to have superiority as the product over the person that makes you.
Break it down for us, Pastor. Break it down.
You can't walk in that level of ignorance. I believe that God creates a God-shaped vacuum in every person that he creates. And whether you grow up on the right side of the track or what some people might call the wrong side of the track, your existence is intentional, and it's by God's plan and God's design. This is why even with the life issue, I say that life is both a concept and a construct. It's a concept in that God knew who Jeremiah was before he even placed him into his mother's uterus. That's a concept. And God has a concept. He has a conceptual plan for all of us. He knew today that John Amanchukwu and the one and only Kathy Barnette will be having this wonderful dialogue, really inspiring people to cross over into a new year. He knew that. He knew that the listeners would tune in. He knew that someone would tune in who needed to be lifted up. He knew that someone needed to be reminded of things that God has revealed to them throughout the course of this year. You know, he's providential. That's the concept. But then it's the construct, is the life, the frame of the individual that God produces and creates. Whether they're born with birth defects or not, it's still what God has produced and what God has allowed. And so when we consider all of these things, we are just a part of one big plan, one big plan, and we get to live in the greatest country on the face of the planet, the United States of America. We all won the lottery when we were born here. I mean, I can say that intuitively. My father is from Nigeria. You know, I went to Nigeria in 2003. I'll be honest with you. After those 2 weeks of being there, I came back to the U.S. and could have licked the toilet seat of a 7-Eleven bathroom because I was so glad to be back in the U.S. I know it. Listen, we have it good.
We do. We have it. We are blessed. We are privileged just for being born in America. What a blessing.
Yes, it's a blessing, but it's one where God has given us also a plan. He's giving us the wherewithal to do good.
Yeah.
You know?
And to whom much is given, much more is required. And I agree with that so wholeheartedly, Pastor.
Yes, and so as we consider all of these things, you know, I'm filled with great expectation for the coming year. There's some projects that I'm going to be working on. I'm going to continue my National School Board campaign. I'm going to more states that I haven't been to. I'm going to continue getting wholesome content out there into the echo chamber of insanity.
It. Well, let me know how I can help you and all of those things. But, you know, I was thinking about something that you were saying about, you know, like at this moment, at this exact time, God said, hey, these two people, Pastor John Amanchukwu and Kathy, will be talking on the radio station just in Philadelphia alone. We're talking to over 2 million people who are engaged right now, according to the Nielsen rating. That's just in Philadelphia, not including the rest of Pennsylvania, not including New Jersey, where this signal goes into, as well as Delaware, as well as Maryland, all of Pennsylvania. And again, it just as you were talking, I was just reminded that to whom much is given, much more is required. We have been given the blessing of being an American. We could have been born at any other time in human history, and yet God has called us to live in this exact moment in human history, and it's for a purpose. It's for something bigger than just strolling on Twitter all day, although I spend an exorbitant amount of time on Twitter, I must admit, but also looking around and saying, what was I made for? Why am I here? What am I called to do? Let me try to figure this out so that this year will be my greatest year of all.
Yes, you know, there's a saying, I don't know who said it. I've heard my father-in-law say it many times. He said that I don't want to rust out. I want to wear out.
Yes, because rust, you have to be still and just sitting there, right?
That's right.
Love it.
And why be still sitting there, weather beaten? Why be roadkill when you can stand up on your feet and fight back? You can wear out. That comes from being used and engaging in battle. You know, I don't want to just be fine china sitting in a cabinet doing nothing. You know,
Yes.
only used periodically.
Only used for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yes.
That's right. You know, from the moment we hit January 1, 2025, I'm saying, Lord, send me. What's next? What do you have me to do? And there's others who out there who feel the same way because they see the magnificence of life, you know, that we can live and breathe and have the activity of our limbs and be healthy and have a reasonable portion of health and strength, you know, and everyone is not in that position. There are some people convalescing in the hospital today who can't do these things. And we think about them. We pray for them. We're concerned about their plight as well. But we do something with this life that God has given us so abundantly.
I love it. How can people find out more about you, Pastor? Where can they go?
You can go to my YouTube channel. It's John Amanchukwu. If you can spell that, I'll give you a sticker. But the handle is REV as in victory, WU Truth. It's Rev Wu Truth. Follow me there on YouTube.
I love it. Pastor John, Happy New Year, sir. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Likewise. Same to you. Happy New Year.
Yes. Okay. We're going to do that one. They don't love you, Pennsylvania, like I do. Yeah, nah. See y'all on the other side.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Westchester University and Pittman, New Jersey in February.
It was fabulous. It was the most joyful night I have experienced in a long time.
The Frank Sinatra guy, I really liked him.
His imitation of the Bee Gees.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and the story of Philly sports through music. Westchester University on February 21st and the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 22nd. Tickets to a Conklin show make great holiday gifts. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
joeconklin.com!
The working families of Long Island Labor's District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor's District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese. My wife Cindy and I had a new roof installed by Impriano Roofing, Siding, and Windows, and we're delighted. When it comes to your roof, good planning is essential. Jack Impriano and his 4 sons are a true family business, serving our area for over 5 decades, using only the best CertainTeed products. If you need a new roof, call Jack Impriano Roofing. Online at impriano.com. It's good to hire Jack and his team. Remember, the best homes have an Impriano roof.
Free speech lives here with Rich Zioli weekday afternoons 3 till 7 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
What? I told y'all, this is the energy we're walking into 2025 with. What is that energy? You can't stop me. You don't got the power. Put it in your mind. And someone else who cannot be stopped, because every time I go on Twitter, not only is he telling me about buy a pillow, but he's also telling me about another project that he's working on. That is I think he's really adorable, Jack Posobiec. Hello, sir. How are you?
Kathy, how are you? Happy New Year. Thank you so much for having me on. And it's always great to be here on 1210 AM WPHT, the greatest radio station in the United States of America.
Absolutely. Did you know that we cover most of the mid-Atlantic states, all of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland?
Well, I sure do. And I learned that because I cut my teeth many moons ago as an intern at WPHT, learning at the feet of the great John Giordano and many others.
I know. When I told the team that you were coming in, they were like, oh, is he coming in? Like, everybody remembers you here. Great love for you, Jack. You are just, let me tell you something. You are a truth breather. No matter if it's a hotly contested issue and most other influencers, conservatives are not saying anything, I can always count on you of being very thoughtful and deliberate and allowing your voice to be heard and giving people, kind of setting the trail for people, understanding what are we talking about and staying very balanced in that. I've always appreciated that with you. Let me get into it real quick because I know you're a very busy man. I texted you this morning because I woke up to Elon Musk has changed his Twitter handle. He is now to be referred to, I guess, as Ciceus Maximus. And I was telling our listeners that I taught my children Latin when I homeschooled them for about 5 years. So when I see the word Maximus, it immediately, the definition in English is the greatest. It's kind of given as a title of honor. A lot of people are called, it's a term for warrior saint, and so to speak. So I don't know. How should I take this? Is this just another joke or just humor or what? What are your thoughts?
Oh boy! So of all things, and look, we used to talk about before they even were called memes back on the station back in 05, 06.
Mm-hmm.
But so Ciceus Maximus. So Kek is this sort of internet frog. It's another name for Pepe the Frog, who was a meme that really gained popularity in 2016 as sort of like the chaos god or the trickster god, and he was kind of like the Loki energy from the Marvel movies or the Norse mythology series, so that he was sort of this trickster spirit. And adapting that to the internet, it was sort of like a lot of people kind of Donald Trump actually had retweeted an image of Pepe the Frog at one point, but Donald Trump as Pepe the Frog all the way back in 2016. So it's really kind of a meme that's been around for a long time, sort of saying, hey, I'm here on the internet to have fun, but also be fighting against the left and going towards a certain direction. That's how I take it. Of course, remains to be seen how he uses it.
Yeah, absolutely right. But what do you think, though? When you're talking about Elon Musk, it's not like talking about Kathy Barnette, right? Or Joe Blow. We're talking about a man who is very powerful and sit in rooms with very powerful people, whether it's our president-elect Donald Trump or whether it's Xi Jinping or over in Germany SpaceX, very significant contracts with the government. Tesla, over 50% of the market share here in America. I mean, and of course, I so appreciate Elon Musk for all that he did in helping us with this magnificent comeback win. But I mean, again, we're not just talking about, Joe Blow from next door. So how do we think about him and interact with him as we're watching him kind of talk to people online?
I would say that, the sort of internet posting culture, which of course Donald Trump is a huge part of, Elon Musk is a huge part of. I may have dabbled in once or twice myself, just a little bit. It's now part of American culture, and it's sort of accepted in a way that really hadn't been before. And look, it goes into your sort of the podcast bros and the talk radio of how this was the podcast election, the X election, and I think it really just kind of goes in with all of that. That look, we're the Americans. We are kind of wired a little bit differently. That's why, by the way, when this huge H-1B debate and that Elon has found himself embroiled in goes on, is to say that, look, the American people are different. We're built different. We're structured different. We're just a little bit different from people in other parts of the world, and that's okay. And so for folks who are on the other side of the debate from Elon, they're saying, look, we want to keep our country the way it is, and we want to keep our culture. And by the way, that is part of American culture, kind of, throwing up your dukes and saying, look, this is our country. We're going to keep it this way. And we don't like people coming in and telling us what to do and changing things. And that is part of the indelible part of the American culture that we've all come to, I think, really just vote for on the ballot in 2024. I think that's what it was all about. And so, look, that doesn't mean that, we're not going to shoot down the next, Nikola Tesla or von Braun or Einstein. But it's like, hey, let's put some serious thought behind these programs that are coming in and really hurting the American middle class and the American worker. And so I would point to that, playful culture, that comedic culture as part of the America, which, by the way, I lived in China for 2 years. You don't see this in China.
No, you don't.
Right.
Yes.
You don't see Xi Jinping doing that. You don't see, actually, Narendra Modi in India does have a little bit of, meme culture. I will actually point out that he does do that a little. But yeah, in China, you don't see that. Japan, you don't see that.
No,
and that's
you don't.
okay, because they're different countries. And I'm not saying that we should change China or Japan. Well, maybe the CCP, we could have a discussion about that. But that's what it's all about. This is American culture, and it's okay for us to say we like American culture. We celebrate American culture, and we want to stay American. That's what the 4th of July is all about.
You
That's
believe
why we
that.
have it, no one else does.
Well, you believe that. I believe that. I believe it's okay. You believe it's okay. I believe most Americans believe this comedic banter back and forth is okay. But do you think the tech bros believe that?
Well, I think the tech pros actually do believe the comedic culture, and maybe that's something where, in this debate, we could actually find some common ground here, is to say, look, I get it. I get that these programs, and I had a debate, we were doing the Twitter Spaces yesterday, and I had a guy came on, and he was in real estate, and he said, well, I fired all the Americans who work for me, and I hired all immigrants because they want to work harder, and they've got a better ethos, and these Americans, you can't hire them, and they don't want to work hard. I said, whoa, wait a minute. The lack of wanting to work hard is not an ethos problem. It's an incentive problem. People will work harder if they feel that incentive. And the problem is, for the American worker, particularly Gen Z, by the way, they feel like they are being cut out of the system. Why? Because they're feeling the pressure. They're feeling the pressure from wokeness and DEI and all of these programs that are designed to help people who aren't them. And then, oh, by the way, the fact that they have to compete with this endless supply of cheap foreign labor that's able to come in. And the foreign labor, by the way, of course, they've got an incentive to work for lower pay. Why? Because they want to come to the United States of America, and they want to bring their families over. They want to have kids here who get the birthright citizenship. They want to do the chain migration. They want to do the sponsorship. Of course, they're incentivized. They're not doing that because of an ethos. They're doing that because of basic economic incentive. This stuff isn't that serious. And I understand, look, there's a lot of people who've been living large for a long time off of these programs. And it ain't just the tech bros, by the way. It's the universities, too. I'm willing to have a discussion about all of it.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Jack, I don't think I've heard anyone speak so clear about and make such a clear case about what really is going on, because I agree with you. It really is about how people are being incentivized. And when you're looking at foreign labor, it's not just cheap foreign labor, but it's very compliant foreign labor. Many of these people know they're on a visa and they can be sent back, and they have a lot of incentives, and therefore they're willing to work 80 hours and get a 40-hour work pay, and that does not move the needle for a number of Americans. I think this is a very healthy conversation to be having. I mean, I did not know, and I've said it many times, I had no idea HB1 visa was going to be the topic at the forefront of my mind leaving 2024 and going into 2025. But clearly it's important. Now, a lot of media, I listen to a lot of world media outlets from around the world and how they're looking at this whole, debate and debacle that we find ourselves in. I'm listening to our own mainstream media, and many of them are characterizing it as a rift in MAGA, that MAGA is having a civil war. Do you believe that? Jack?
Oh, sorry, I cut out your last thing. Can you just repeat that last part?
Nope. No, I was just saying, do you believe MAGA is in the midst of a civil war?
No, this isn't a civil war, and I understand. Look, people are going to have – this is a Twitter debate, right? And a Twitter feud, a Twitter debate, look, there's going to be memes, there's going to be back and forth, there's going to be banter, but essentially it is a helpful and healthy dialogue. This is family dispute, okay? This is a family dispute inside the family, and that's what's great, by the way, about the right as opposed to the left, is that conservatives can have a conversation.
Yes.
We can disagree, but we don't start canceling people over it. I haven't heard anyone say, an Elon Musk should be banned from the internet and kick him out, get him out of Mar-a-Lago. No. None of that. We are having a healthy discussion. And by the way, you've had people on both sides acknowledge the situation and acknowledge and say, well, yeah, of course we want America to get the super geniuses of the world. Of course we want Elon Musk in America, right? And I think that, I gotta point out that I think that he may have taken it a little bit personally because he at one point was an H-1B himself. And so he, kind of views it through that lens. He sees a mirror of himself, but that don't mean everybody in the program is an Elon Musk, right? There's only so many Elon Musks in the world, and God works in mysterious ways, and we could all have a long theological debate about why that is, but we know that that's the case. And so going beyond that, though, no, it's not a civil war. It's a discussion. It is a healthy clarification. But what the other one I want to say is I don't want to talk about is for as much conversation as there is about how many Elon Musk could be out there in the world, I want to have a conversation about how many J.D. Vances are there in parts of the United States of America that have been overlooked because they're from some of the poorest parts of the area of the country, from Appalachia, from the hills, from western Pennsylvania, from, Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, or, Pine Grove, or all of these areas of the country where, we're just supposed to look over them because they're backwards and they wear their red MAGA hats and they drive pickup trucks. And, the whole litany of it, right? And it's ridiculous. But we don't look at the American people as the resource that they are. And America's greatest superpower is the American people.
It really is.
We can't overlook them. That's what the election was all about.
It really is. It's the people, right? And I was saying to someone earlier that America is more than just the bottom line. We are more than just widgets, nuts, and bolts. This is personal, and we have a lot of talent, myself included, coming from a pig farm underneath a rock. J.D. Vance and so many other, even Vivek Ramaswamy, he is a direct product of this country, right? And so we have a lot of talent here to mine. Jack Posobiec, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for dropping in.
God bless, Kathy, and I'm always happy to come home to WPHT.
Happy New Year. Okay, guys, I see you guys on the other side. Listen, here's the number, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. We're going to close it out with Congressman Scott Perry. What? So excited. Happy New Year, everyone.
Weather is sponsored by Winter Ford.
For tonight, it'll be mostly clear. We'll get down to 35. Tomorrow, still warmer than normal. High 57, maybe some rain in the late part of the day. On Wednesday, New Year's Day, 48 the high, cloudy and windy. On Thursday, we'll get up to 39 and partly cloudy.
The Winter Ford Cherry Hill Get Holiday Ready sales event. See Dino Rucci and his team for discounts and rebates up to $10,000 on new Fords. Call 800-428-4000 for details. Check your savings at winterford.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You've been hearing me talk about Rescue supplements for years. Well, Rescue Natural Supplements has launched a free personalized health survey that prioritizes all of your health goals. Whether you've been taking Rescue products for years or don't know where to start, in just 5 minutes, discover tailored Rescue supplements that will fill the gaps in your nutritional needs. That means no more guessing on products at the store or ignoring these issues altogether. The best part? Right now, you get a whopping 50% off recommended products after completing the survey. To get started, go to res-q.life. Again, that's res-q.life. Or call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Get help from a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant. I took the short survey. Let me tell you, I was blown away to see my results, so don't wait. Visit res-q.life and get 50% off recommended products today.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years.
He was in big trouble.
We're going to take your house, garnish your pay.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm.
I don't owe the IRS anymore. It was because of Optima Tax.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Actual client compensated for sharing their experience. Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
People along 2 streets in the Northeast want more from police and the city after a string of car vandalism and, in one case, robbery. State parks are offering first-day hikes to walk in the new year, but if you want the free tour, you have to register online. Funeral plans take shape for former President Carter.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
That's why I don't go online without connecting to NordVPN. I don't want anyone stealing my personal information and snooping on my browsing activity. Also, TechRadar named NordVPN as the most trusted VPN by casual users and experts. Features like Threat Protection Pro safeguard your devices from phishing websites, scan downloads for malicious files, and disable intrusive ads and trackers so you can surf more safely online. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. By the way, you can protect up to 10 devices with one account. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Get the vehicle that's on your wish list with year-end savings from the Piazza Auto Group. For a limited time, get an incredible 0% APR for up to 72 months available on the all-new Honda Prologue from Piazza Honda in Langhorne, Philadelphia, Pottstown, Reading, and Springfield, or the new 2024 ZDX from Piazza Acura of Ardmore, Reading, or Westchester, also with 0% financing. Contact your local Piazza Honda or Piazza Acura dealer, or you can shop online, Piazza Honda and PiazzaAcura.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
For the area's finest dining experience with fabulous cuisine, extensive wine list, and waterfront views of the Philly skyline, visit the River Winds Restaurant in West Deptford, New Jersey. Enjoy entrees that feature certified Black Angus steaks and the freshest seafood while overlooking the Delaware River. River Winds can host your next special event. They'll plan your holiday party, family gathering, or corporate meeting in one of their newly renovated waterfront rooms, each with a private deck. For an incredible dining experience or special event, theriverwindsrestaurant.com.
Have you ever tried something for the first time and then wondered how you ever got along without it? That's how thousands of new Navage users describe their first experience. Once they feel sinus relief and can breathe clearly again, many wonder why it took them so long to experience the Navage difference. Navage uses refreshing saline and gentle suction to quickly suck out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Stop suffering from congestion and start feeling better again with Navage.
Brand new look, same great product.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
What? Yes. Oh, wow. This is it. We are waiting for Congressman Scott Perry to call in. He will be calling in shortly, hopefully. If he does, we will get him on right away. We have a number of things to talk about with him as well. This is Kathy Barnette, and I am sitting in for the great Don Stensland on the Don Stensland Show. Here is my number, guys. It is 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. Call me. Ain't no stopping us now. I know. JL, I'm looking at your comment over here on YouTube. You guys, I really like kind of peeping over and looking at what you guys are writing over here in YouTube world. So we're streaming live there. You can also go and check me out on Twitter at Kathy, the number 4 Truth, Kathy for Truth. You can find me over there. I am unfortunately always on Twitter these days. It's just so much is happening there, and it really is the source of news. I don't watch mainstream media any longer. I mean, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting myself through all of that. Like most of you, I do read newspapers. I find my information from a variety of places, but Twitter is one of the places I go to find out what's going on in the news, what's happening in the world, to see what people are thinking. And so you can catch me over there at Kathy for Truth on Twitter. Also, I am the new weekend host for 1210 WPHT. So you guys, you like what you're hearing right now, you're going to love me on Saturdays at 10 a.m. So put it in your phone so you can be ready to tune in, call in. I'm going to have some amazing guests starting this Saturday. January 4th is the launch of my show, the Kathy Barnette Show, on the weekend. So I am very excited. And the congressman still has not called in. So really, guys, call me here at 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. And so we can have that conversation. So, what's going on? So, one of the things when you're talking about H-1Bs is that you have a number of people taking Donald Trump. Donald Trump retweeted something that Elon Musk put out Elon Musk put out a tweet saying anyone of any race, creed, or nationality who came to America and worked like hell to contribute to this country will forever have my respect. America is the land of freedom and opportunity. Fight with every fiber of your being to keep it that way. Donald Trump retweeted that. And of course, there are those who are saying, oh, Donald Trump agrees with Elon Musk to remove all caps, country caps, which of course removes caps for H-1B ones. As you know, there are almost 1 million applications out there. Only 85,000 get to come in each year. So if you remove the cap, it'll go from 85,000 to over 1 million, right, of new people, mainly from India, coming over here into the country. But what did Elon Musk say? He said what I agree with. I'm sure you agree with. This country, America, is made up of a lot of races, a lot of creeds, a lot of nationality, and those who have worked like hell to contribute with this country, they will have my respect forever. Absolutely. Donald Trump is agreeing with that. I agree with that as well. I think we all should agree with that. I do not want America to become a bastion of just white people, nor do I want it to become a bastion for just black people or just it's all of us together. I want people who love this country. I want people who love this country, who want to work hard, who want to contribute to make this country great again. I want those people, and those people come in a lot of shapes, sizes, and color, nationality, and all of that. And I think that is what makes us good. But we have to do it respectfully. I have a caller, Ed. What's up, Ed?
Kathy Barnette. I always like to hear your New Year cheer without fear. So now I love to hear.
Awesome. Thank you. What's
You
going
are
on?
fantastic. Well, hey, I just want to say that, let me tell you something. We all got lots of better things to look forward to than this 4-year disaster that we've lived under, this dark cloud. It's like Schleprock in the Flintstones when the cloud followed him around with the lightning bolt.
I know, just raining on his head. I mean, I want sunshine, and all these Democrats brought me were clouds. And I think every time I see Kamala, I'm just like, thank you, Jesus. I offer a praise to the Lord that he did not put
So
this
do I.
over
Oh my gosh,
us.
I prayed about the election and Trump's safety so many times it wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
Because I had said over and over, dear, I said, they've done everything to this man. They tried to bankrupt him and his family. They tried to jail him. And then I said, you know what? Nothing's working. They're going to try to kill him next. And sure enough, and I didn't want to be right about that. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. I think all of us were watching this election with bated breath. I mean, I remember being just on the campaign trail with Vivek and feeling, even when I was with Vivek, just feeling like, we really need to be careful. And then, of course, as Donald Trump became our nominee with the Republican Party, it's like, I'm feeling uneasy, and it was warranted. Those feelings of unease was warranted. But I'm very grateful to God that as Donald Trump has rightly said, God saved his life.
He is amen to that.
He is meant to be here, and I am excited about what is coming up in 2025.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for calling
healthy, wealthy,
in.
and wise.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling in, Ed. I appreciate it. If you guys want to call in, I just texted the congressman, no word as of right now. So if you want to call in and let's talk, is 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. One of the questions I had for the senator, for the congressman, Scott Perry, I've been paying a lot of attention to what's been going on in Syria. As you guys know, the government has collapsed. The Assad government has collapsed. He was there for his family has reigned exclusively over Syria for over 54 years, and now it has collapsed. He has fled to Russia. His wife is now asking for a divorce. She, because now she doesn't like it. She doesn't like being in Russia from the reports that I'm reading. But I think that's very interesting because when she was in Syria, she was Queen Bee, and she behaved as Queen Bee. And now that all the spoils have been given away to others, to the people, and we'll see how that turns out. I'm not holding my breath for good things with Syria being in the hands of, because this is where ISIS came from. And some of these different groups are still there, still alive, and everybody's going to be competing for power. But now that she's no longer Queen Bee, now all of a sudden she's like, oh, no, I'm going to go back to the UK and, live the best version of my life. I don't think so. And from the reports, the people there, and UK is not very excited about extending a branch. But let's turn ourselves and look at Bangladesh. We don't have a lot of people talking about what happened in Bangladesh with Sheikh Hasina. She just won re-election, and then a couple of months later, the people, quote unquote, student-led protest were toppled her government. And I was watching that, eyes glued. Now Sheikh Hasina is over in India. And so now you have a lot. So now the in India are very concerned about their Indian brothers and sisters who are in Bangladesh because it is becoming a real hot spot for terrorist activity. So now you have Syria that has toppled, and everybody is looking at, well, who's going to actually eventually take power. I'm not holding my breath that these people are going to vote in real democracy. I don't think that that's their mindset. And as Americans, we need to stop looking at the world through our lens like, oh, they want what we want. No. I've traveled the world with the military and on my own dime. No, that is not what the rest of the world is not trying to become America. They want the spoils of America and all the ingenuity and the wealth of America, but they don't necessarily want the culture of individualism, right? They want to be, there's always one person who wants to be in charge of the masses. And they don't want to divest that power. They don't want to have what we just had with Elon Musk and many other prominent leaders in our nation, what we just had on Twitter with, people like myself and Jack Posobiec, Laura Loomer saying, no, we disagree and this is why, and allowing the people to rise up and say, no, we disagree and this is why. Most dictators don't want that. They want what they want. And they don't care what you think. Now, they want the ingenuity that comes out of America, out of that environment that allows individualism, the freedom of expression. They want the wealth that comes from that, but they don't necessarily want the attitude. They want a compliant group of people, and that is what we find in many of these kind of countries. And so I say that in reference to what we're seeing right now in Syria unfolding, what we see that is happening in Bangladesh, the students' protest, quote unquote, came in, kicked out Sheikh Hasina, which was probably the most diplomatic and democratic government they have compared to what they have today. Because what came in to fill that void? Someone is always going to come in and fill the void. That's why when Obama came in and said, oh, we're going to lead from behind, I've never seen that. I've been in many marches in the military. The person at the back of the line is not leading anybody. The person at the back of the line is not leading anybody. So when Obama said, we're going to come and lead from behind, that is code for stupid. That is code for transitory inflation, which, of course, I have a finance degree, studied economics, worked at a couple of different financial firms as a financial analyst. I had never heard of the word transitory inflation, so I knew that was a crock. But it sounds good, lead from behind, transitory inflation, but it doesn't work in real time. And so now we have a void in Syria. We have a void in Bangladesh. Let's see what's happening. Israel is expanding their war against terror, against their people, which they have every right to do. It has moved beyond for some time, beyond Gaza. It went into Lebanon. It went into Iran. Now they're down in Yemen with the Houthis. They are not playing. So Donald Trump is about to walk into 2025 inheriting a lot of foolishness and chaos. But we will see. Nevertheless, Happy New Year. Y'all take care. Be safe. Blessings. See you on Thursday.
Have you ever tried